Could someone out there see if Jim Finley is ready to offer the board welcome? In the meantime, talk amongst yourselves. He's here. I think he's welcoming people so passionately and deeply that he's not here at this moment. But we believe he will be. Or he won't be.
Or you can
But
welcome
he welcomes
people.
you. UUCA is a place that welcomes people with many different backgrounds and beliefs, no matter your I see him coming. Your gender identity or gender expression, sexual orientation, racial or ethnic background, abilities and disabilities, seen and unseen. How am I doing, Jim? Very well, thank you.
Well. Yeah.
Here we invite you to come for community, find inspiration, and live with purpose.
Live with purpose.
Thank you so much.
So well done.
Today is, well, I got to jump now because she's already found. If this is your first time worshiping with us or your regular Sunday routine, we're glad you're here. We here at UUCA are a highly active and engaged community, so I encourage each of you to go to our newsletter for all the latest news and activities of our church. Today, we invite everyone to attend our Faith Fair, which is wonderful, I just left, and that we will be happening after this service. We'll also have coffee in the Reeb Center. There will be opportunities to learn about and sign up for covenant groups, Faith 360 groups, choir, the handbell program, and more. These programs and learning opportunities provide so much that will enrich your experience here at UUCA. Now I'd like to invite everyone to rise and greet one another and encourage you to find someone you haven't met before and meet this morning.
It is good to be together, my friends. I invite you to return to your seats. I invite you to return to your seats, which you're doing now. I'm manifesting it into being. There we go. Awesome. It is good to see each other this morning. I am particularly glad to be with you, having had to miss last Sunday's opening Sunday because I was recovering from COVID, but I am recovered, past tense, and very glad to be here. Oh, thanks. As we honor Hispanic Heritage Month, which began on September 15th, I'd like to share these words from Unitarian Universalist minister Tanya Marquez as our call to worship. In her bio, Reverend Tanya Yadira Marquez, who uses she and ella pronouns, writes that she is an ordained Unitarian Universalist minister, spiritual director, and hospital chaplain. Her ministry is influenced by her immigrant and fronteriza experiences. She strongly believes in the healing power of words, movement, community, and ritual. So I invite you to take a breath and allow her words to center us this morning. It is a wonder and mystery that our paths have crossed. That in the immensity of time, in the vastness of space, we coincide here. I am in awe at the ways in which our lives intersect and intertwine, at the beauty we create when we gather. May our coming together make us more compassionate, more just, more caring, and more loving. May our hearts and minds be open to this offering. I am so glad you are here. Let us worship. Let us marvel at the miracle of being here right now and the mystery that has brought us together.
This morning, we light our candle of compassion with several things in mind. The first is to send out our compassion to anyone who was affected by Hurricane Lee and who is waking up this morning in its wake. We also want to send compassion to those recovering from the earthquake in Morocco. While it has left the 24/7 news cycle, they are in recovery, and our compassion and love go out to them. We continue to acknowledge the people in Ukraine, sending them our strength and standing with them as they face the violence and the atrocities of war. And lastly, once again, we remind our legislators and public officials that they must take steps to pass meaningful and common sense legislation to stem the tide of repetitive gun violence. And let's move on to light our chalice as we stand alongside our brother and sister congregations around the globe. We gather together as a community of memory and hope to celebrate life and its infinite possibilities for love. Please join me in these words. We light this chalice as a symbol of the light within every human heart. May our individual sparks meet and merge, bringing both light and warmth to the world.
Able and join us in the singing of our opening hymn in the gray hymnal, number 347. 347, Gather the Spirit. Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour, our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy every now and then. Gather in hope, compassion, and strength. Gather to celebrate once again.
I would like to invite any of our younger folks who are with us, if you would like to come up and join me on the chancel, you are welcome to come on your own or to bring your grown-up with you. And, oh, come on up. Hi, Jaja, how we doing? Come on up, because I'm going to need your help today in telling, it's not really a story, we're sort of figuring something out together. So come on up, and if you decide in the middle of the story that you want to come up, that's great too. You're welcome anytime. Okay, so here we go. We don't usually have an easel on the chancel on Sunday morning. Come on over so you can see, so you can help me out. So today is the beginning of our religious education classes for the year, our Sunday school classes. And so I was thinking about what do we need, do you think, to have a class? What would you need to have a class? What do you think, Lilu? No, maybe. Anyone? Yes. Us. You need to have some children. Yeah, would you come and draw some children? Just little right here. Just draw like a bunch of little children for me. Thanks. Thank you, Abby. Okay, what else might you need to have a class? Yes. A teacher. Yes, exactly. Oh, yep. Those are really beautiful, but quicker. Yep, there you go. There you go. Oh, no, they've got hair. Okay, excellent, perfect, that's perfect. So there's some children, and then I'm gonna start us off with the teacher. And then a teacher. It is true that the size differential between these children and this teacher is maybe not exactly what we have in Sunday school, but we're gonna go with it. So it's a giant teacher. So here's what I'm hoping you can help me with. If we have a wonderful teacher for a Sunday school class, what do you think that teacher needs? How do they need to be? What do they need to have so they can be the very best teacher? Yes, what do you think? They need kindness. How could we symbolize kindness? How could we draw kindness? Do you have an idea? Oh, yeah. Do you want to put a heart on our teacher somewhere? Maybe right where her heart is. That could be. So the teacher has a heart. That's great. What else? Perfect. Thank you so much. What else might a teacher need? Yes. Sympathy and caring. I love that. How might we symbolize sympathy and caring? Oh my gosh, perfect. Can you do holding hands for holding? Yep. Holding hands with each other. Just, I don't know, put a hand on there maybe, do you think? Okay, hands to show sympathy and caring. What else might a teacher need to be a good teacher in a classroom? Yes? A TV? Wow, interesting, Jaja. Okay, sure, maybe there's great clips to show of other religious activities so we can learn about different religions and cultures in the world. Yeah, just put a TV right here. That's fine. Yeah. Anything that a teacher might need on their face to help be a good teacher. Oh, do you have another idea? What is it, Emily? Safety, yes. A teacher needs ways to help keep everybody in the classroom safe. How could we symbolize that? What do you think? Do you have an idea? Oh, come on up. That's so good. A Band-Aid. Gosh, you guys are smart. Can you, maybe the teacher could hold a Band-Aid? What do you think? Oh, great. A Band-Aid to keep people safe. Beautiful. Oh, I love it. Anything, what else? Anything a teacher needs in their face? Yeah, Nikki. Eyes, come on up. You can pick a color. What are the eyes for? See the students, to be able to see all the students in their class, yeah. And now also you have that color on your hand, so you're welcome. Bonus gift. What else might a teacher need? Yes? A mouth. What is the mouth for, do you think? To talk, yes. Maybe to say kind words. I love it. Okay, let's put a mouth right here. Thanks, Nikki. It's very expressive. Can you put a mouth right there? Should it be like a frowning mouth? Yes. What? How well, you
Yes.
know what? We do want our teachers to have a full range of human emotion, so I guess that's cool. Okay, all right, so let's see. What do we have? We have a kind heart, helping hands, a Band-Aid for safety, eyes to see the students, a TV, a mouth to communicate many emotions and languages. Yes, Abby? Oh, yes, and the wonderful teacher has wonderful students. Yes, absolutely, yes. A nose and hair. You want to come do the nose and the hair, and then we're going to, no, should I? Okay. Okay, Shasha, come here. Do the
Curly
nose.
hair.
Do the nose. Okay, great. Thank you.
A sense
nose
of
with a
humor.
nose ring. It's very hip, teacher. I'm going to add the hair. There we go. Okay, all right, so one more, Nikki. Shoes.
Shoes.
Yep, shoes. Shoes. Though I will say our teachers could walk on those shoes, or they might roll, they might use wheelchairs, because we have the elevators. They could do all of them. I think that actually we're going to move on to the next part of our time together this morning, which is to see if we have any of the RE teachers here in the sanctuary today. If you are, now hold your applause, hang on, because we ran into that problem. We all wanted to applaud at 9:15. But if you are an RE teacher, will you rise for us? Just wait. Okay, stay
rise.
risen.
Stay rise.
Stay risen,
That's right.
like with yeast. Stay right there. Now, I'm going to need all of you to help me because we are going to bless these RE teachers and all the other RE teachers who are actually probably in their classrooms getting ready to meet you. So anybody can give a blessing. Did you know? So we're going to hold our hands out to give a blessing. Rev CTC is going to help me. Rev CTC has made this teacher smiley.
She has a sense of
Okay.
humor.
So we're going to put our hands out. I want to invite all of you to join me in this. Put your hands out to offer a blessing.
Blessings.
And we are going to offer the blessings that you all created here today. So, RE teachers, we bless your eyes that help you to see all the wonderful children in your class.
We bless your mouths and your sense of humor that you show to the children in your classes.
We bless your hands that help and comfort.
We bless your hearts and the kindness that you show when you're teaching our children.
We bless the way you keep our children safe and create safety in the classrooms for everybody to be together.
We bless your hands and your shoes and the toes in the shoes and all the things. Right, Amanda?
That's right. And we bless the children, for sure. We even bless the TV if you use one for
you use a monitor.
learning in your classroom.
Right.
So now let's offer our gratitude to these teachers as they get ready for their year ahead. Thank you to our teachers. And we will sing you on
off.
your way. Thank you all so much
Thank
for
you,
your help
guys.
this morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Da 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 da.
Peace to you on your way. May you grow in love each day, meeting new friends and opening your mind to the wonders of the world you will find. To the wonders of the world you will find.
At the 9:15 service, our teacher had a parrot also. I thought it was parent originally, that the parents were there, but it wasn't. It was a parrot. Yep, with a really nice beak and apparently okay wings. I did not get a A+ on the wings, but I want to invite you now into a time and a space of meditation. The High Holy Days, also called the Days of Awe, began for those within the Jewish tradition on Friday evening, this past Friday evening with Rosh Hashanah. Yesterday, I was here in the building for a board retreat, and I had the chance to wish Shana Tova, Happy New Year, to one of our longtime friends from Kol Ami, the Reconstructionist synagogue that is nested in our congregation. The days of awe continue with Yom Kippur, which begins next Sunday evening. They are moments of new beginning, of reflection and forgiveness, moments of reset and commitment for the year to come. And so I offer you this morning this prayer, this hope from Reverend Dr. Deborah Hafner, a white Jewish Unitarian Universalist minister. This is titled, "The Days of Awe Begin with Us." Let's take a breath and center ourselves in this moment. The days of awe begin with us. May the next days be days of reflection, introspection, and peace. May we prepare ourselves for the changes in the year to come. May it be a good year. May it be a healthy year. May it be a year of peace for all of us, all around the globe. May it be a year of peace within ourselves. May we live our lives with integrity, service, and love. May we be blessed with the strength of this community, of our families, of our friends. May we remember what is truly important in life, and may we remember to be grateful every day. May we all be inscribed another year in the book of life. Lashana Tova.
Would you now please join us all in singing Spirit of Life, first in Spanish, then in English. It's in our order of service, as well as in the Gray Hymnal, number 123. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón, cántale tu compasión, sopla al volar, sube en la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arráigame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
This collective, UUCA, is a community that gives. We give of our time, our talent, and our treasure. We support organizations whose values mirror ours and who are working to change the world. In the month of September, we're sharing the offering with the Guatemalan Scholarship Partners, a joint UUCA project that was begun in 2009 with Aravima, a Mayan human rights organization. They're based in Rabiana, Guatemala. It's also partnered with Golden Unitarian Church. This project supports 52 Mayan middle and high school students. 70% of our offering will go to this project. 30% of it remains with the congregation to continue doing our work in the community. Because Guatemalan public education ends in the 6th grade, Mayan young men go to work in the fields, and the young women often marry very young because they don't have support needed to attend school. Adavima supports the students as they attend school by providing tuition, food, and transportation. During COVID, they also provided cell phones and computers when the schools were closed. 2/3 of the students supported are young women. This year, 14 students graduated with degrees in accounting, business administration, computer science, and education. With human rights currently under attack and activists continuing to be injured or killed, now is the time for us to support these young people. These young people will become the next generation of leaders in the Mayan community. What we can do is offer them help and hope. Please give as generously as possible. Will the ushers please collect an offering? Last week I attended the UUMA board meetings, and when you're in a room full of UU ministers, quite often we ask each other, what are we grateful for? What I was grateful for was the music that we have here at UUCA. What Jason just played and Lori leading our songs this morning is extraordinary. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's bless our offering. We bless and receive these gifts, opening our hearts to true generosity. Please join me. The words are in your order of service. Let us be grateful when we give, be it time, talent, or treasure. Let us be grateful for our needs and the experience of vulnerability. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts to nurture this congregation. Thank you. The reading that Amanda selected for this morning is a little bit long, so I want you to just take a breath and settle in and listen to all of it. Hang in there with me. It's worth it. This is called Skydiving. It's a reflection that was written by Doug Powell, who's a member of Foothills Unitarian Church in Fort Collins, Colorado. He begins, most of my 70 or so jumps began the same way. A group of us gearing up for adventure, putting on heavy-duty harnesses, parachute packs, altimeters, helmets, goggles, gloves, etc. Next, we load onto a plane. We sit down, buckle up, and the plane starts moving. Everyone is really pumped up. We're cheering, high-fiving, and people are saying things like, surf's up. The airplane is abuzz with excitement. Bravado and chatter is in the air, the engines roar, we leave the ground, and the scenery begins to recede in the windows. About 10 minutes into our slow ride to altitude, a sort of dark boredom begins to set in. Veterans are usually napping, leaving the rookies oh so very alone with their thoughts. The ground continues to get smaller and smaller as the altimeter needle winds upwards. At some point, the pilot turns and confides something to a nearby veteran, who then loudly yells, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. A handful of voices echo it through the plane. We wake up, we start buzzing with activity again. All of us are doing last-minute gear checks, planning our exits, and getting ready. And then someone goes to the back of the plane and slides open the plexiglass door to the outside. The plane instantly fills with the blustery wind and just a hint of airplane exhaust fumes. Then the moment gets very real for people. This is our opportunity to see a phenomenon my friends have come to call door face. You all know what game face is, right? You put your game face on. Skydivers evidently put on their door face. It looks something like this. Expressionless. Perhaps your head is tilted slightly to one side, exuding calm. It's the moment when you realize two things. What you imagine this might be like has no relationship to what it actually is like whatsoever. And that you are committed. After all, skydivers say, when you get up to that door, no sounds an awful lot like go. Near the door, a little red light turns green, indicating that we are over our landing area, and people start leaving the airplane, with the airplane literally bouncing like a diving board with each of their departures. Everyone then moves one notch closer to the door, and all of its terrible unknownness. Then the person in front of you vanishes. It's suddenly your turn. You enter the doorway, looking out into the incomprehensible vastness of the open sky, the wind buffeting around you, the ground looking less high up and simply unreal. 1, 2, 3, and you are in free fall, irrevocably committed to leaving the plane. Now, there are a lot of things you could do at this point. Scream, howl, claw at the air, flap your arms, maybe turn to cast a longing glance back to the airplane. Sadly, none of them will really change your situation. Scream all you want. All you'll end up with is a very dry mouth. As it turns out, the most aerodynamically stable body position in free fall is achieved through relaxing. When you truly relax in free fall, your body naturally assumes the shape of an arch. Until you arch, you're unstable. Control is difficult. But after arching, it becomes stable. You are even graceful in the air. Our lives are filled with these transitions. We're always moving from one world into another. How do we respond? And most importantly, is our response aligned with our fears? Or is our response aligned with love? I suppose we can always howl, claw, flap our arms, try somehow to fly back into the airplane. Or we can take the more graceful path, accept, relax, arch, and appreciate the humbling beauty around, between, and within us. In every moment, the choice to appreciate the beauty is ours. The choice is ours. Skydiving.
So my question for you this morning is, what airplane are you getting ready to jump out of? I have been thinking a lot recently about what it is to be a Unitarian Universalist, about what it is to be a member of this congregation of UUCA. How is your life different because you're a Unitarian Universalist? How do you make choices differently or think about the world differently? Can people tell from the outside that you're UU, that you're part of this church? Can they tell by the way you talk or what you talk about? How are you changed because this is the place that you call home, whether it's for 40 years or for an hour? I have been thinking about that, about what the outward signs are of Unitarian Universalism, about what it is to be UU, and I have wondered whether perhaps change is not right there at the heart of it. Along with our sibling congregations all around the country, this year we are exploring new language that invites us to think about what Unitarian Universalism is. That language holds love at the center and then has other values all around. And one of those values is transformation. And so I think about, what if being Unitarian Universalist, at least part of it, was about being open to transformation your whole life long? What if being Unitarian Universalist meant continuing to learn, not just when you were the size of these children here and the teacher was so big, but when you are the size of the teacher, when you are grown up? What if being Unitarian Universalist meant that you kept transforming the whole way through? As Jim shared with us this morning after our service, we have I don't want to actually transform into fire. We have, after our service, the Faith Fair, an opportunity to learn about our classes, our adult education classes, our covenant groups and other small groups, our music ministry like handbells and choir, and the newly starting up junior choir for children and youth. Sometimes people will say to me that they would love to join choir, but they can't because they don't sing well. And I think to myself, well, I wonder, what if we only started the Building Your Own Theology class, which is being offered this fall, if we had already built our own theology and we arrived at the class with it ready to go, sort of bullet points done, set? Well, no, we take those classes because we're figuring it out, right? Because we're continually figuring it out here in Unitarian Universalism. So maybe, just like that, we go to choir because we don't feel like we can sing well. And it's an opportunity for transformation, a chance to jump out of the airplane. Now, I have never gone skydiving myself. That reading does not make me want to, no. But I did do clinical pastoral education, or CPE, and it felt a little like skydiving. Yes, it did. CPE is a requirement of Unitarian Universalist ministers in our preparation, and it follows a praxis model. Praxis model has you do a thing, and then learn how it went and talk about it and evaluate it, and then go do the thing again and try to do it better that time, and then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I am someone who likes to do things right. I like to actually, really ideally, do them perfectly. I like to know all the ways they're supposed to go so that I can show up and be whatever the person needs me to be and do it just the way I'm supposed to do it. And so that first day at Washington Hospital Center, that's where I did my CPE, that first day when they said, well, go ahead and visit these people in the hospital, just knock on the door, I thought, well, it's the manual. And I need a lot more training first. But no, in CPE, you just go up to the door, and maybe you have a little door face. I had a lot of door face, actually, those first weeks in CPE. So I knocked on the door and said, oh, how are you? They were not good. They were in the hospital. How are you? I'm from the chaplain department. But CPE asks you to go to the door and to jump. Life is like that all the way through, moments when we have to just go to the door and jump. And maybe, like the author of the reflection, like me at CPE, maybe you have experienced door face in the past. Maybe you've felt it on your own face, or you've seen it on other people's faces. One of the times when I see door face most often is when I, as a white person, am gathered with other white people and we're talking about how we're going to do work for anti-racism, and then we all kind of get door face because we're not sure we're ready, right? That's what it's like in the airplane. You're not sure you're ready. That's what door face is. It's getting real and you're not sure. And so folks will say, well, I just think I need one more training, and then I'll be ready to act. Or maybe 2 more trainings would be good. Or maybe 3 trainings and then 6 book groups. And then I think I will be ready. But the problem is, right, the door is open. Systemic racism is here. And our need for action is now. And so in those moments, right, when I'm gathered with other white people and we're sitting around with door face, part of what we need to do with each other is to say, get on up to the door and get ready to jump. Even though you're not prepared, this is the time to jump, the time for action. Now, skydivers don't jump alone, right? They have a parachute on, and someone has hopefully told them how to pull the ripcord. And so when I think about transformation and Unitarian Universalism and what it is to be changed repeatedly in our lives, I think about who can be our parachute, about how we get up to the door, ready to jump, but we know we have a parachute with us. Of course, you maybe can guess. I do think it's the congregation we're part of. It's the people that are jumping along with us, or learning along with us, or making mistakes along with us, trying again. It's the people that are going to show up with us at the march, or in the class, or in the choir rehearsal, or the folks that are going to show up with us after the job change, or the marriage, or the end of the marriage, or when the child is born. We carry a parachute with us. We are the parachute for each other, even in the moments in our life when everything up here is door face and everything in here is saying, I don't think I can do it. But we're at the door and we're ready almost to jump. Now, here's the thing about the reading and skydiving that I'm not quite sure about. Well, I'm not quite sure about a lot about skydiving, but here's the thing about the reading I'm not sure about. The end of the reading, right, invites us to imagine jumping out, and it tells us we might, flap our wings or claw, but that really if we relax into it, we will gracefully arc. I think it's like this, not like this, like arch, like this. We'll arch, I've seen pictures, and we'll beautifully float down in a controlled way, I guess, and then alight on the ground. Now, you may have had changes in your life. You may have had moments when you were on the edge of a door. You may have taken risks in your life and in your work where when you jumped, you were able to relax in and arch out beautifully and gracefully come down to the ground. Maybe. Or maybe, like me, you've had times in your life when there you were, ready to jump, and you were scared, and you had door face, but you did it anyway, and you never attained graceful arching in your way down. Maybe, like me, you have had moments of transition when you jumped, and you really did spend the entire time to the ground, clawing and flapping your wings and trying to get back to the plane and unsure it was going to work out. But here's the thing. Those skydivers that choose that route, the skydivers that aren't able to relax in and arch out gracefully, but that instead fight against it and aren't sure and flap their wings and wonder if it's going right and think it's going terribly, they're still gonna get down to that same solid ground at the end. They may not look that great doing it, right? They may not. I don't even know if you can land on 2 feet when you're skydiving. Probably not, right? Has anybody skydived? Probably not. People are saying, you skydive. Do you land on 2 feet? You don't. You do. You can. Steve landed on 2 feet. So maybe they haven't gracefully landed on 2 feet, although apparently that's possible. I can believe it when I see it. Maybe at the end of those transitions, you have landed on your knees. Or maybe you have landed sort of like halfway down, with grass stains, and you look like you are a total mess because you are. But you still got down to the solid ground beneath. It didn't look pretty getting there. It didn't look graceful and perfectly arched, but you made it. And you'll make it again, whatever it is that you are getting close to. Whatever it is in your life that you are ready to jump out of the airplane for. Because I do think that there is something particular in Unitarian Universalism that helps us be ready to make those jumps, that helps us be ready for transformation. It makes sense, right? We are a religious tradition of transformation. One that started in transformation, began in the midst of change, and has continued transforming and will keep on transforming all the way into our future, whatever that might look like. And so we are all called to that transformation ourselves. We are called to remember the parachute that we wear and the people that taught us how to pull the ripcord. We are called to remember that the descent is not always graceful, but that solid ground will appear one way or the other, messy or otherwise. And most of all, we are called to go right up to that door, even when we have door face all over, right up to that door, and find a way, ready or not, to jump. May it be so for you this fall, this new year, this reset. Whatever door is in front of you, whatever risk you are ready to take, whatever transformation is awaiting, and whether you think it will be graceful or not, may you find the courage to jump. We are going to sing together now, even though it says we're going to install the board, because at 9:15 we decided we liked it better that way. So I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, to bring your voices together and to sing
28, hymn number 128 in the gray hymnal, For All That Is Our Life. For all that is our life, we sing all thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life. For sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Now we are going to install our board, much like you would install a refrigerator, only slightly different. As our board comes on up, and let me tell you, these folks really don't have door face because they have been trained. They've gone to different board trainings. They've learned about leadership. They spent all day yesterday at a board retreat. These are your elected leaders, UUCA, and I'm actually going to invite you, if you will, to share your name and your position on the board. This is not all of the elected leadership, but it is many of them. So they're going to introduce themselves, and then we will install them.
Thank you. So I'm Bert Kapler. I'm the board chair and also member of the Board of Trustees.
Lila Vizard, member of the board.
Barbara Bazell, I'm the vice chair of the board and a grateful member.
I'm Linda Battolini. I'm the treasurer of the congregation and a board member.
Gail Curran, board member.
Emily Abraham, secretary to the board.
Jim Finley, board member.
Thank you so much. So, board, hang on, I have to get to the right page here. Da-da-da-da. Oh, thank you very much, thank you. Board and officers, do you take up the work entrusted to you by the members who have elected you into leadership? Will you, to the best of your abilities, seek to live the principles of Unitarian Universalism and to govern so that the whole congregation may do the same?
Yes, with a sense of responsibility and with the joy of serving our faith and our congregation, we take up the mantle of service and pledge ourselves to the work of governance and to the care of UUCA.
Now, a question for all of you. Members of UUCA, will you support the board and officers in their work, engaging when they seek engagement, supporting their governance through works of ministry, and partnering to support the work of the congregation as a whole? If so, say or type in the chat at home, "We will." Hurrah!
Hurrah.
Board,
Installed.
you are installed. I am so grateful for the opportunity to work with these great leaders, and I encourage you to say hello, to get to know them, to bring to them your care and love for this congregation as they bring their love and care. Thank you.
Please join me in the words to extinguish our chalice as this time together draws to a close. The words are in your order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light and warmth it represents. These we carry with us, bringing our sparks of love to the world.
Friends, whatever transformation awaits you, remember your parachute, the congregation that surrounds you. Remember that you may make the descent gracefully or messily. The ground is still below you. Take a breath, let your door face shine, and jump. May it be so.
May it be so.
Amen.